Thanks, everybody. Thanks, JC, for going over the flowchart again and reiterating that our role is to assess after hours and to triage and support, but not respond. So just to make sure that we are able to process a lot of the information shared, the really good information shared, we're going to do a very quick activity on the guidebook. And the purpose of this part of it is to make sure that you're able to refer to the guidebook to be able to answer certain questions. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to put up a list of everybody that I placed into random teams. So just kind of remember your team name. It'll be either A, B, C, or D. And then what I'd like everybody to do is just to make sure you're able to connect to the shared drive. And in the shared drive, on the very bottom, there's an activity folder, a shortcut to the activity folder. So because it's a shortcut, it goes all the way to the bottom of the list when it's alphabetized. So in that activity folder shortcut, when you open it, it'll jump to the files that we'll be using today. If you're not able to get into it, no worries. I know Amanda, Cassie, Mylin, and myself are able to open these files, but we're going to need to open those files in just a little bit. And what's going to happen basically is once I break everybody into teams, you will be given the opportunity to open one of those files and answer the question. So basically, we'd like you to place as many answers to the question you're given as possible. So however, you can work together to answer that one question that you're all going to be given. That's what you're going to be doing next. So again, what I'm going to do is break everybody into small groups. You'll be put into a separate, what's called breakout room. You may be seeing a little screen that looks like this. So when you get thrown into a breakout room, if it doesn't already put you in there, click on join that breakout room, and then you'll be able to work with your teammates on answering that one question. We only have a few minutes for you to work together to answer that question and put as many answers as you can onto the slide. And so here are the teams that you'll be working with. So team A will be Mylin, Pam, Tiffany, and Richard. Team B will be Kyle, Patrick, Sheila, Tracy, and Cassie will be kind of moderating that group. Team C will be Heather, Ingrid, well, Ingrid's not on, but Heather, Karen, Tran, Travis, and Adam will be in that group helping you. And then Team D, Amanda, Nancy, Andre, and Nini will be there, and I will be myself working with Team D. So I'm going to go ahead and work on throwing you guys into those rooms. So if you need any help, ask your moderator. For Team A, your moderator is JC. Team B, your moderator is Cassie. Team C, moderator is Adam. And Team D, your moderator is myself. So we're going to put you into rooms now. You have 5 minutes to work on your questions. Okay, I think everybody should be back. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you had a good amount of time to spend with the small group, questions. What we're going to do is we are going to have everybody report out, and we'll start with Team A. So everybody has 1 minute to share their question and share the answers as quickly as you can work through the bullet points as possible. That would give the other teams a chance to speak as well. So Team A, you had a question about things you should do in all hazards. So can somebody from Team A share their screen? I don't know if that's Stacey or Mylin or Pam, Tiffany, or Richard. Can you share your screen and share your answers to your question?
I just attempted. Did that work?
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, what the team came up with was that when responding to something, we would have to notify everyone around of the hazard so that they know that there's a response going to occur as well as what might be around them. To secure the area, make sure nobody can get in the area whilst this is going on. Prepare the guidebook and other resources before on-call shift. So that's basically like preparing everything you need before you need it. So you're not just scrambling to do this last minute. Test equipment and calibration. Everything should be calibrated regularly, but should be checked before we go out with it. And of course, donning the appropriate PPE.
Perfect. Thank you, Team A. Awesome. Good job on identifying all the actions you take, because it's not just about securing the site, but making sure you yourself have everything you need and the other people in the area are safe. So thank you. We are going to move on to Team B. Team B is Cassie, Patrick, Sheila, and Tracy. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I think Tracy's going to speak to some of our answers on what you should avoid as an on-call or support staff after hours.
Yep. So things you should avoid are making any kind of media statements or statements in general to people who are not immediately involved in the situation. Shouldn't commit any funds beyond the delegated authority. So if it's over $10,000, you have to call Marshall Holman in purchasing to get specific approval for purchase orders over 10,000. And you should also go through, talk to Sheila before you do anything like that. Do anything beyond your training or without appropriate resources. So don't attempt to be a superhero if you're not equipped to be one. Shut down mechanical systems without consulting facilities, or do anything you're uncomfortable doing. And that one's really important. Don't do anything that makes you really uncomfortable, because typically, your gut instinct might be correct. And also you don't want to do anything that maybe you're not actually prepared to do. If it makes you nervous, there's usually a reason for that. And then
we can share that. We can hold off on the questions until we get to the rest of the teams. But thank you, Team B. I like your gut instinct. And while Team C is getting ready to present, Team C is Heather, Karen, Tran, and Travis. It's really good to reiterate. You must make sure you're safe and well prepared before you try to respond. Okay, so Team C, what steps do you take to respond to a chemical spill? Go ahead.
Okay, so once on site, what steps do you take to respond? Well, we completely misread the question when we did this. Once on site, you want to, when you arrive, you've already identified the spill. I'm sorry, I messed up. I completely misread the question before I started this, or before we started this. So you want to assess the situation, you want to isolate, you want to notify, and you want to respond. That's taken from the ERG. So I completely misread the question. I'm sorry.
That works. Is there anything else you guys would want to talk to about the slide? That works, Travis. Thank you.
I'm okay.
Okay. Heather, did you want to finish up really quick or anything like that? Or are you good?
Yeah, and I think the key thing is like if you've been able to gather the information, you know what you're dealing with, that's great. But then if not, like call your SME if needed. Kind of reiterating, we didn't put it on here, but talked about don't do anything you're uncomfortable with. Know how to call in the vendor for cleanup if needed, and contact the CHO. So just kind of following the guidebook.
Great. Thank you so much, Team C, Heather and Travis. Very, very cool. And then Team D, if we can have you guys be prepared to share. Team D is Amanda, Nancy, Andre, and Nini. You had the question. So that was a spill response question, but you guys had the question about an odor complaint. So go ahead.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so we receive a complaint of a natural gas odor from a chemistry lab. And so what information and equipment do we gather and bring? So the first thing we collect is information about the person's name and contact number, the nature of the complaint and the location. And we say it's a chemistry lab is the complaint. So we get the name of the PI. How long has the odor been detected? And we're going to take the incident response guidebook that has the IAQ response procedure in it, and we're going to take the SME contact information. We're going to try to contact the SME because the IAQ procedure is a little more complicated than most, and we want to, if possible, get that SME on it to make sure that we're thorough and we follow that procedure. We should take the 4-gas meter to get the reading on the oxygen, and important to see what's going on there in the atmosphere and the ambient air quality there in the room. And then we want to take, if it's after hours, we want to take the EH&S on-call rotation cell phone with us to make those calls. But as JC mentioned, the incident response guidebook is helpful even if it's during business hours, because you could get this call during business hours. So we would want to follow the same procedure during business hours as we would after hours.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Amanda and Team D. Okay, and
can I mention one thing? There's going to be the same decision that's going to be made during business hours that's going to be made after hours. The first decision point on the flow chart that's going to be made is, do we need to activate emergency services? And that's going to be the same when you're on a call during business hours as during after hours. So that could happen at any time. So just remember that.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Really, really critical. And again, it's on the flow chart. So definitely take a look in detail of what Amanda just mentioned about that decision point. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. We're a few minutes over, but I do feel like these last few minutes were super valuable in making sure we were all on the same page, or you got a chance to dive deep into the questions. What do you do in all calls after hours? And then what do you not do? Like what actions do you avoid? If there's a hazardous spill, what do you worry about? And in this case, if there's an odor complaint, what do you gather in terms of information and equipment? So thank you everybody for referring to your guide and being able to participate. Everybody was very, very involved in each of the breakout rooms that I visited. So we really appreciate everybody being involved. And that is it for the training activity.